Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on this 2006 Ford Fiesta. Sorry about that. You can see already I have the IM608 in my hand. Right, so the car is a 2006 Ford Fiesta. I'm not 100% sure what is the engine on this, to be 100% honest. Doesn't really matter. I will tell you what the story is with this car, or at least what I have been told, and then you'll see what we're gonna do. So, the story. Apparently, so this is one of these power something, I don't know what they call it now. It's one of those, I had one car featuring one of these gearboxes with the problem actually on the actuators on the gearbox. If you guys maybe remember, or if you watched it, I might leave a link in the description below if I remember when editing this thing. Yeah, so this is one of these. Now apparently the car used to throw a ABS light, and what I was told was that when the ABS light would come on, the gearbox would behave, or it would go into this funny mode, and this was literally their words. These came from another garage, by the way, just to make just so it makes more sense. So they said the gearbox used to go onto this funny mode, used to engage just second and third gear or something along those lines, and then they would turn the car off, turn the car back on, and it would drive again, okay, until the ABS light would come on again. The ABS light would come on quite randomly. They never told me what the codes were on the module. They never explained me anything. All they said is that they replaced the ABS module, and the car now drives absolutely perfect. But, and honestly, as expected, we do have. Let me see if I can stop this thing. We do have a constant ABS light on. So that's what we have. And that's what we're going to try to resolve. So I'm guessing the ABS light is because of the ABS unit not being programmed, I guess. So we're going to have to try to see if we do that, and let's see if the IM608 is capable of doing that. That's about it. The MS908 at the moment is doing something on that Mercedes, so I can't really use it. So we're gonna try to do with the IM608. So let's gonna plug in the tool, see what codes we actually have to confirm that that's the problem, and carry on from there. Okay, and here we are on the main menu. So let's gonna go quickly to Diagnostics. I'm gonna go straight to control unit, ABS, let's hope that this is something to do with programming, because otherwise that means maybe they changed the ABS for nothing. I don't know. Let's see what's come up with. Okay, what? 1095. The code is set when the hydraulic pump motor has an open short circuit, ground, or battery. It doesn't sound nothing like programming, does it? Low voltage to the module. That's interesting. So let me see if I erase the codes. Yeah, the engine is running, but it doesn't really matter. Just want to see. Okay. Actually, let's gonna do it the way he asks me, because the light, usually the lights goes off and then comes back on. So maybe this was nothing to do with the pump. I mean, obviously maybe with the pump, but why have they changed the pump? Okay, so same fault. Let me try to do this. Okay, so this is definitely a hard code. It's not even usually. Sometimes when you delete a code on a module, whether it's an airbag, an engine, whatever, sometimes the light goes off, and then when the module kind of restarts and does the check, the light comes back on. It doesn't even do that. But these, would be really interesting to see what the code is on the original pump that's on the floor. Unless they put a bad pump as well. Unless the problem was already the motor on that pump, on that one, and all they did was replace the pump, probably the used one, with the same problem. I don't know. Let me see. It's not going to allow me to do anything here, probably, but let's try. There we go. Hydraulic pump motor. It's gonna, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I don't need this. Conditions not correct. Unless it's because of the code. That's the only thing I can think of. Alright, so how are we going to do this? I'm not really sure. What am I going to do? That's it. Okay. I'm really interested to see what the original code is. Plug in that module to see what it does. But at the moment, it's not very good. Let me think. Let me see how we're going to play this out. Okay, and it's not getting much better. But anyway, in the meantime, what I've decided to do is... so, basically, guys, it looks like the module... So, this is the module that came out. And as you can see, the part number there at the top. 4S61-2M110-CC. And it looks like the module they put in is exactly the same. So at least something positive, I would say, because the module is the same. And it doesn't look like it needs programming in this case. Otherwise, we would have codes here for programming or for some other stuff. And there is no VIN numbers on the. Let me see what. There's no VIN numbers stored on the pump by the looks of it. I might just go for a full scan, perhaps. Try to see. Maybe. To me, it really looks like the only issue is the motor on that pump. Who knows? Maybe these. That's a lot of codes. Whatever. Okay, I'm not sure what they've been doing. He said to me at some point that the guy that installed this, that works on that for him, the guy that came was the owner of the garage, apparently has been there on the fuse because he believed that to fix this, he would have to take the fuse for the ABS and turn the ignition on, then put the fuse and then ignition. I'm not really sure what he was talking about, but okay. So yeah, I think my next step is going to be really try to plug in that module. I want to see exactly what that module does, and go from there, and maybe do a couple things more. Let's see how we're going to play these out. And 2 hours later, we have this. This must be the British weather at its best. Anyway, where is the bonnet? Bonnet is over there. So let's go and open the bonnet, and let's see if I can plug in that old unit. It would be interesting to see what the old unit says. No chance. No chance. Because the thing lives right there at the back. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it, damn it. How are we going to do this? Let me think. I don't know if this is going to lead us anywhere, but let's going to do the tapping test and see what happens. Obviously, the pump that's been fitted on there is a used pump. Obviously, you can see it right there at the back. Scrapyard marks by the looks of it. So obviously, it's a used pump. Oh well. Okay. Don't think I've heard any special noises or anything different than before. So I'm guessing we're gonna still have the same issue. Well, the ABS light would have gone off, I think, unless code needs deleting. It's gonna be the unit. There's no other way. Yeah, that's gonna be. Oh man, right. Let's just do one thing because I'm forgetting about that. Which probably I should have done it in case if there is a separate fuse just for the motor. Let's kind of have a look at that. Let's kind of look at diagrams quickly and see if there is one. Okay, after a quick look at diagrams, there is, well, obviously I could probably look at that, but I just want to understand a little bit how the system connects. There is 3 fuses for the ABS, one of 5 amps or 7.5 or 5 amps, a 20 amps and a 30 amps. So I'm going to guess the 5 amps are for the electronics of the module itself. I'm going to guess the 20 amps are probably for the electro valves, and I'm going to guess the 30 amps are for the motor. Now I might be wrong on this. Let me just see if I was checking this right, because I was checking on one without ESP. I don't see any buttons here for the ESP, so I'm gonna guess there's no ESP on this, so I think I'm correct. So yeah, let's gonna quick check the fuse, see if everything is good. Okay, let's gonna check these fuses. Right, so it's 5. This fuse is 5, 6 and 37. I'm gonna guess 37. There's no numbers here, isn't it? Oh, damn it. Which one? Hold on, it's not going to be 37, isn't it? Because if it is the way I believe it is, 37 would, I would not be able to communicate with the module, would I? So let's going to start with 5 and 6, which are these two here at the top, which is this 20 and this 30. Okay, so these two here. So let's gonna start with the 20. That's a good fuse. It's gonna go to the go to the 30 amps. That's a bad fuse. How could someone miss something so basic? Right, let's gonna get a 30 amp fuse and see what happens. Okay, so I have a fuse here. Let's gonna put it in. Right, let's gonna see what happens, and let's gonna hope that this fuse is not gonna just blow. Okay, and I have a fuse. It's gonna put it in, just like so, and let's gonna hope the fuse is not gonna blow. So it's gonna go, turn this ignition on, and see what happens. Right, moment of the truth. Did the fuse blow? If that fuse is blown, then we have a different problem. Okay. Okay. We have ABS light flashing and came back on again. No, you went off. That's good. So let me go into the ABS again. Alright, so ABS came back on when I'm on the thingy. No live data. Let me try to activate the pump. I want to see what the pump does. Let's see if I can hear the pump running. Okay, let's go. Right. I could hear some noises, but definitely not the pump running. Definitely not the pump running. I can hear like a click from the pump, but it doesn't seem like the pump running to me. Okay, so we have no codes. I'm really confused because it definitely... Let me start this. Okay. Guys, it doesn't really seem like the pump running. Unless the pump is really smooth and silent, because I could hear like a click, and then, which is supposed to be the start of the pump running. I heard that 2 times, I think. But I'm gonna leave it. Right. It's gonna make these ABS to work. I wanna see what happens, because I'm not 100% confident that this was the fix, but it might be that it is, but only when I get these ABS to act up I will be 100% sure. Okay, it's gonna go for a quick test drive and see what happens. Let's hope that the phone is not gonna fall off. That's a typical. Okay, so gearbox, there we go, straight away. Right, so let's gonna turn back again. I knew that was not the sound of a ABS motor running. I can only hear a click, but that characteristic sort of noise that the pumps make was not there. So I knew something was not right. Okay, so let's gonna go back home and scan the car again and see what's in there. Okay, so that's, I guess, going to be the same code. Let me just get the fuse, the pliers. Let me see if the fuse has blown again. Let me just see what the code is, but it's going to be the same thing most likely. Am I on ABS? I think I am. Yeah, so there we go. So same thing. Let's pull the fuse. 30. And the fuse is gone again. Right, so one of the two, or we do have a bad motor, or we do have a bad wiring. Now, the fact, what to think? Right, what to think? Right, let's gonna measure some wiring. Am I gonna have to take the battery to reach the plug right at the back? And that's it, really. We'll have to actually. No. I'll have to do it differently. Okay, hold a second. Let's gonna take the battery, get to it, and see how we're gonna play this out. Okay, something really strange just happened. So, I put one of these resettable fuses over there where the 30 amp fuse are, because I was trying to see exactly what's going on. And I done it, and then just here on my driveway, I didn't went outside. Just here, I tried to make the ABS to activate just a tiny bit to see what would happen. And interestingly enough, all of a sudden, I got all of that, and now I cannot communicate with the ABS module. When I went to check, obviously I can't now because, well, I'll show you in a second. But when I went to check, the actually 3 amp fuse for the ABS module, I know you can barely see, well, you can kind of see in there, is blown. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm really not sure what the heck's going on with this. Right. Not sure what to do next. I'm really not sure what to do next. Let me think. Okay, so I put new fuses. Nothing's blowing right now, but I want to show you exactly what it does when I press to activate the hydraulic pump. So, as I said, usually you have that characteristic noise that sort of that runs. What you're going to hear is completely different. So, let me see if you can hear it. I'm going to press OK, so it's going to do it now. Let me do it again, because the gearbox kind of run at the same time. Do it again. So, oh, have you heard it now? It's kind of start to run now. Hold on. Let me try again. It did something different this time. Nah. Okay, so what I want to do, just hold a second. Okay, definitely did a different noise now. So let me try something here. Let me try to tap these at the same time as I press to activate the motor. Not sure what's going to happen, but doing anything? Nah. Right. I think I'm gonna have to give up on this, and I don't think it's gonna be taps or any magic tricks that are gonna fix this, I'm afraid. Right, that's gonna take this battery out and see what do we have underneath. Okay, so let's gonna do a few checks. So when I took the battery and I look at this, there's some grounds underneath the battery, and there's a ground that comes here to these ABS plug. So this is the ABS plug that I managed to pull from down there. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to even here, well, I did measure, but then because I've looked at that, I just thought, let me load test the circuit. So we're going to see, I have a bulb here. I'm not sure how many amps this thing pulls, but it's probably a, I don't know, it should pull a couple amps at least, I think. Should be more than enough. So ground in there, if I go there on the battery positive, I get the light working. So we do have a good ground, otherwise if it was a bad ground, the ground most likely would disappear. And now on the pump I still leave the ground in there. Now we have 3 voltages, if you remember, and I'm gonna guess, well, I've checked the diagrams, I'm not gonna guess. So 1 and 14 are gonna be, I believe, the 20 and the 30 amps. I'm not sure which one is which. And then we have pin 20, I think, which is gonna be another voltage, but that's gonna be the probably the 3 amp fuse. But we'll test these big wires here. As you can see, I have voltage, and there I have voltage. So now I'm not gonna test, well, I can load test with the other test light because that just pulls a few milliamps. Just hold a second. Okay, so we'll do with this because this is only pulls a few milliamps, and that's gonna be pin 20. So I'm sure it was pin 20. So that's 1 in there, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold on, because I think this is a key voltage. We need to turn the ignition on. Okay, ignition is on. Now we should have voltage on this pin 20, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. Now we do have voltage. So everything is here. So I'm gonna blame the pump. So this second-hand pump they put in is bad. But because we have the plug up here now, I want to plug the original pump and see what that pump does. Let me pick up that pump. Okay, the pump is here and the key is off. It just puzzles me. Why did the fuse blow in the first place? It's nothing here. This wire goes from here. This is all in quite good shape. It goes from here to here. It goes inside the car, and that's it. There's nothing here to be shorted or anything like it. So if that 30 amp fuse blow, you'd have to be inside the pump somewhere, I think. Right, let me plug this in. So this goes like this. Okay, let me put this down here, like so. Now that's gonna turn the ignition on, and I want to try this pump. So actually, I'm not going to even stop recording. Okay, is on. Let me try to come back. Let me read the codes on this pump. Let me get the phone here so we can see what we're doing. Oh, have you heard that? Have you seen that? Have you seen it? Let me show you again. That's what, so no faults detected on this pump. I'm really puzzled with what the heck's going on in this. Now let me activate this pump, and you're going to see, well, I'm sure you guys know, but let's see. Look how this, I hope it's not going to splash oil everywhere, but you heard that? So that's how the pump should do. Obviously there is no pressure, no oil on this pump. Usually the noise is a little bit more of a deep noise because of the pressure of the oil. But we'll do it again. Let me put the phone closer to the pump. Spot on. So this pump is working fine, and it looks like, in the, well, at least with the car stopped, it's throwing no codes at all. See, when you try to scan for codes, it looks like it does a kind of a check, and it runs the pump for like a second. No fault code detected. So I'm really puzzled why the pump was replaced. I really am puzzled. Not really sure. The pump on the car is definitely bad. There is no questions about. There is no questions about. So it looks like we'll have to replace these back again, or I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know what to do right now. I'm gonna ring the guy, try to gather a little bit more information to understand exactly what the car was doing, what's going on, and try to go from there. That's all I can do, really. Okay, so I rang the owner, and what a mess. What a mess. So the pump, so the guy at his garage where this came from said that this was coming up with a, let me see if I get this right, it was coming up with a signal from ABS module, a bad signal from ABS module or something along those lines, he said, and that would put the gearbox into neutral and then the car wouldn't start. And then he said you would restart or something like that, and the car would start again, and blah blah blah. So, but he didn't know the P code or anything like that. He just said it was something to do with the signal from the ABS module, something along those lines. So this pump has been installed quite a long time ago. So, because my idea was for them to return the pump. Obviously, when they put the pump, they never test the pump, so they could have done what I've done, at least for the motor. Would be a good way to see if the pump was good. Obviously that motor is gone, and what I could do, oh no, it's not gonna work. I don't have room in there. No chance. I could probably swap the electronics from this one to that one. Actually, not a bad idea. I can actually do that. It just crossed my mind now. I told the guy to buy another pump, but actually I can just do that, can I? If there's something wrong electronically with this pump and it's throwing, yeah, I can swap the modulator and leave the electronics that's in there, and that should fix my problem. But apparently the guy was convinced that this problem now was just programming. I don't know, he didn't scan the car. If he would have scanned the car, he would have seen there's nothing to do with programming. But and then he read on some forums that he would have to take a fuse and turn the ignition on, and then there was something along those lines. I said, look, that's not how you program anything, but whatever. Anyway, what I want to try to see if I can experience the original fault. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive the car. Obviously I have brakes from that pump, everything is there, but I'm going to go with the old pump plugged in like this. So we're going to put the pump here somewhere where I can just go underneath there somewhere. Oh, come on, go there. There we go. Go underneath there. Sweet. Okay, so this way I should be able to close my bonnet and I can go for a drive and see. I only put 2 bolts on the tray. Is it secured? It shouldn't go anywhere. Should be okay to go for a drive. Let's gonna see if we can make this to throw the original code off the car. Okay, so let's gonna see what this does. So a car with 2 ABS pumps, look at these, eh? So at the moment the brakes are going through the pump that's fitted on the car, but electronically it's connected to the pump that's obviously not connected to the brake lines. So we have brakes, we have everything, but we obviously will not have ABS. If I try to make the ABS to act up, what's going to happen is the old pump that's going to activate, and obviously that's not going to do anything. But for electronics test purpose, that's all we need. So I'm going to drive around the block for a little bit and try to see what happens. I'm going to try to make the ABS to act up as well, although obviously the car is just going to slide because there's no ABS. In reality, there is no ABS because the pump that's going to try to activate the ABS is not even connected hydraulically, so he's not going to do anything, he's just going to slide, but will be enough for the module itself to make his thing, if you will. And because there is no ESP on this car, we don't need pressure sensor. If we needed to have fluid pressure, that would be different, but because we don't have, I don't think these pumps, they have pressure sensors inside, so which is a good thing. So it's lasting more than the last one. Speaking to the guy as well, this was to the owner of the garage, the guy that brought me the car. He said that you would have to drive the car for about 5 to 10 minutes for the light to come on. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll see what happens. Let me try to see if I can get a little bit of grass just before I stop recording to carry on testing. And oh, a lot of traffic. Usually there's nothing on this road. Right, so let me see. Right, let me see if I can make the car to slide. Right. Wee. It just starts to go sideways. Right, anyway, but as you've seen, so the old pump obviously tried to activate the ABS and it didn't throw any faults so far. So let's gonna carry on driving and see what happens. Let me go to live data on the ABS pump just to see if there's anything there. No DTCs, blah 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 blah. Okay, let me put these 4 wheels at the top. There we go. Okay, the wheel speed sensors are reading absolutely perfect, matching, all 4 matching perfectly, which is good. So that's fine. Let me just it's driving fine, no problems at all. Right, I think I'm gonna just carry on driving. I'm gonna stop recording because there's really no point. And I guess I will see you when some action happens, whatever. Okay guys, and I'm now driving the car for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Yeah. Actually 24 minutes. I'm driving the car now. And there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. No, obviously sensors are okay, reading absolutely fine, as I showed you already. Absolutely fine, no problems at all, and nothing happens. There's only one thing that I can think of, which is if the issue is temperature related. And obviously the pump that is connected now is right above by the side of the battery. The original pump is further down, close to the engine. So could it be that is it that is making the pump to fail? I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. I don't know. I would love to see the original fault. I would really love to see it, but it's driving absolutely fine. The only thing I can do is for peace of mind, because obviously the pump that is on the car at the moment, the motor is bad, so we can't use that pump. That's out of question. You've seen the issue. So when we're gonna have to replace to take it out anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is, for peace of mind, rather than just put this pump back in, is I'm going to do that. That only occurred only occurred me when I actually was recording that bit on top of the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old unit out. I'm going to exchange the modulator to the electronic side of things that's on the car at the moment, and put it all back on, and see what happens. But based on what I'm seeing, I could pretty much say that we could just put the old pump back in and everything is good. But just in case, that's one thing that it could be heat related. Obviously it's about 4 degrees outside, and the pump is right on the side, so it's not gonna, obviously it's not going to warm up. I could maybe put the pump at the bottom. Why not? Actually, I can do that. Put it on top of the other pump, maybe see if the heat does something to it, but not at the moment, because I can't even get out of the car because it's really bad, the weather. But that could be a thing that we could try. I might do if it stops raining. Okay, so it kind of stopped raining now, so let's gonna move that pump close to the engine and carry on to see if that makes a difference. Okay, so I put it on top of the other pump, and I've actually faced the electronics to the engine, because there's no heat around there, to be fair with you, to be honest. But we're gonna carry on driving for a little bit. So I'm now driving for nearly half an hour, close to half an hour. So let's gonna drive another 10 minutes and see what happens. Okay guys, just got back home and I done pretty much, let me take the phone out of here. I've done about 17 miles, which is like close to 30 kilometers. Drove for about 40 minutes. So I left home was about 5 o'clock for about 40 minutes. Guys, it's driving absolutely perfect. I haven't seen any issues. So I'm not sure what they were talking about. I will show you quickly where I put the, let me open the bonnet, where the unit is now. So you can see I put it close to the engine, just in case if this was something to do with heat. there it is. You see what I'm saying with the electronics? Still, there's nothing, there's no heat around here. It's cold, absolutely cold. And the other unit is further down with the electronics facing the firewall, the bulkhead. So is even less likely to experience any heat in there. So I really don't know. I really don't know what they want about. But obviously, if they reckon there was an issue, I gonna have to take their word for it. Unless it was something else that could have been. I don't know, guys. But what I'm gonna do is the following: the pump that's on the car at the moment is gonna have to come out for the reasons we have already established. It's gonna have to come out regardless. And what I'm gonna do, rather than put the old unit back in, we're just gonna replace the modulator. So we're gonna put the modulator of the original pump on the second-hand pump that's on the car, and leave the electronics that's on the car at the moment, which is the second-hand pump. We're going to leave it just in case if there's something electronically wrong with the original pump that we have not yet experienced, but it might be that there is actually something wrong with it. But yeah, as you can see, still no codes. As you can see in there, the pump, I've been with the live data here all the way, still no codes at all. And that's it, really. We're just going to read the codes again, but live data doesn't show any codes, so it's not going to show any codes here either. By the way, while I was driving it, I think is worth to mention. There we go, no fault codes. While I was driving the car, I've done many times activated the ABS by just, obviously the car just slides, but I could even hear the motor of the ABS pump running when the ABS was activated. So, and I've done it several times throughout these 40 minutes and no problems at all. But guys, again, I'm not going to repeat it. Let's going to do what we got to do, just for the safe side of things. We're gonna dismantle the pumps and do what I've said, but obviously the pump that's in there is gonna have to come out regardless. So let's gonna get that done, so we can get some work done, because at the moment we've just been playing with this and I've done nothing. And just a quick thing, guys, because obviously I know some of you are going to probably raise that up, and actually I was just here now turning the tool off and etc., and I thought about it, which is the fact that the pump, obviously blowing the 30 amp fuse, we know that fuse is for the motor, for the pump, for the motor, so I'm not worried about that fuse. But is the 3 amp fuse that burned? It could have been that tried to turn on the pump. It could have been a fluke. I don't know. But obviously they drove the car since they replaced this unit. They've been driving the car, obviously with the 30 amp fuse blown, but the other fuse was good. So he only blown when I was here, tried to activate and doing things and so forth. So it could have been a fluke. I'm not worried too much about that. So obviously we're going to replace that fuse with another. Actually, is it 3 amp? It's a 3 amp, yeah. I think it's a 3 amp. I don't know what the diagram shows. That's supposed to be a 3 amp fuse. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I've just seen here, it's supposed to be a 3 amp fuse. So it could have been a fluke. I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, I just thought it would worth to catch up that as well. Okay, the two pumps are here, and that's going to do what we have pretty much agreed, which is remove these modulator, including the motor, take these electronics out and put these electronics on that pump, and then put this pump here. Hope that makes sense. So let's gonna do it, and then put it back on the car. Okay, job done. I really need to get a new brake cleaner dispenser because this one is had his days. But yeah, so all done. So yeah, it's pretty much pitch black now. Well, it's not dark. It's pretty much dark now. So I'm not going to record anything, but I didn't record to take it out. I'm not going to record to put it back in. To be honest, again, as I said, it's really straightforward. The pump leaves like this, and you have one bolt here that goes into the chassis, one here that goes into the chassis, into the bulkhead, and then another one. This one is a little bit more difficult to get to, but you can get to it on the side. That's it, and then you have all the pipes. That's pretty much it. So it's not that difficult. So we're going to put it back in. Then I will bleed the brakes tomorrow, and then we'll give another test drive for another half an hour or so. And we'll see what happens. Before we put it in, I'm just going to plug in this module, and we're going to activate this motor, make sure it works, but there's no reason why not. And then obviously this is the unit that was originally on the car, but with the modulator not originally on the car. This is the second-hand one that was on the car. This is the original one, the original module, and this is the motor that was bad with the original module. That we haven't seen nothing wrong with the module when we drove the car now for about 40 minutes, but we never know. So we'll do it like this and hope that it works. So that's it. Okay, so next day, look at how the support is still in there. So just to let you know, the pump is now in place. Yesterday, after I've finished doing what we did, which was dismantle the pumps, etc. I didn't want to leave the pipes hanging off in there, especially the ones that goes from the master cylinder, because it was although I put a liter cap, but I didn't want to leave in there in case it would lose the oil from the reservoir. So I just quickly put the pump back in. Obviously, guys, very important here, I tested the pump before I put it in place. So obviously I've connected the pump electrically, scanned the car, activate the pump, the motor, everything worked, had no codes, and then I put it back, and I will show you just that quickly, that there is like this, so you can see. Let me start the car. Okay, so there it is. So as you can see, there is no faults, no ABS lights, no nothing. The only thing I would say now is that obviously I need to bleed the brakes. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to quickly off camera bleed the brakes, and then I guess the next step is going to do another test drive, make sure the car drives okay and no warning lights comes up. But so far that's where we are. So that's going to bleed the brakes and then hopefully finish this video. Okay, just finished everything. So brakes are bled. I've checked the tire pressures because I'm on my own today. So I was using that bleeder that connects to the tire and puts pressure on the reservoir, and then all you need to do is open the bleeder and the fluid will be pushed through. So that's how I've done it. I already checked, there is no leaks at all back there. Everything looks spot on. So now I guess is go for a drive and test it. So let's gonna go for a drive, another 40 minutes maybe. If the car behaves okay, then I'm gonna deem this as repaired. There's nothing else we can do unless some other faults comes up. But for now, that's gonna go. That's gonna test it, see how it does, how it goes. Okay, so far 5 minutes. We done 1.2 miles, 1.3. So far so good. Today we can actually proper test the ABS, which I'm gonna do somewhere here. Let me try here on this verge here on the side. Yeah, the ABS works. The ABS definitely works. So yeah, let's just carry on and see what happens. Okay, so just got back home, drove for another 13.5 miles. That's about 20 kilometers or so. Total time we drove for about, we left home 1:15. It's now 10:02, so nearly 35 minutes we drove for, give or take. So that's it, guys. For how long do you test drive? We need to be sensible. That's it. Is as far as I'm concerned, this is a fix. It was a fix yesterday, even with the pump the way it was. But hey, I took you through everything, so that's what we did. I'm gonna deem this as repaired. If anything happens that is related to this, or I might just do a follow-up. If the car comes back for something else, we might just make into another video. But as far as I'm concerned, the car is repaired. I can't just carry on driving the car hoping that he's going to throw a fault at some point, because he might never do. So that's it, guys. What else to say? With no further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you can find useful. If you do still have any questions, any comments, please put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.